Ladies and gentlemen, the Chicago Bulls have beat the LA Clippers and the LA Lakers back-to-back nights, both games at Staples Center, as now the Bulls are 2-1 on this West Coast road trip. Um, Welcome back to the DeSlamDuncan YouTube channel. We're going to talk about this Lakers game. I did not make a post-game video for the Warriors or Clippers game as I am in the middle of a very, very busy school week right now. So I apologize for that. I'm making this video, but you can probably see I'm dead tired right now. I kind of feel like I'm Stacey King. Like you could tell Stacey King was very tired on the broadcast tonight. But either way, though, I want to talk about this Bulls win and talk a little bit about the Warriors and Clippers game, just a little bit, just to kind of show you like all the changes they've made to get this win in LA against the Lakers. But before we get into all of it, though, make sure you hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. I got a lot of film I want to break down in this video, so get ready for that. I have a lot to honestly talk about here, but just quick thing. If I'm gonna have to take like a break due to busy week in school, I'll post that in the comment section. It'll be pinned, so just there's your notification on that if you're looking for any videos from me. But let's talk about this game here. Bulls won 121-103. This was the Bulls just were in control of this entire game. Stacey King kept saying that the Bulls came out, punched the Lakers in the mouth. They 100% did. And I was very pleased to see this as the defense, man. I already said before coming into the season that this Bulls team's going to be very good defensively. All the critics were like, no, this team's going to suck defensively. But as we see now, like, this team is very, very good defensively. And even without their starting center and not being able to run their traditional defense, they're still adjusting so well, as we saw in this game. As you know, we're very undersized, and we're facing one of the best centers in the league right now in Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis is bigger than literally everyone on the court when Tony Bradley's off the court. So this was a big challenge for the Bulls because we saw before when Joel Embiid came to town on us, like that dude absolutely dominated us. And those guys that can dominate in the post and really dominate the paint area, they tend to give the Bulls a lot of problems. But we saw in this game how the Bulls were able to counter that, and it worked perfectly. Luckily, LeBron James was out, but this is still a pretty big win. As the Lakers are, we can't just walk through Staples Center and get a win, right? You have to come ready to play against this Lakers team, and the Bulls did. But very quickly though, let's look at the box score here as DeMar DeRozan right now, man, this dude is absolutely just on fire. I mean, he can just not miss right now. He had that one bad game against the Warriors, but the entire team had that bad game. And against the Clippers, he had 35. Against the Lakers, he has 38. Just incredible to see from him. Zach LaVine had 26 in this game, so this is another game that him and DeRozan have combined for 60-plus points, which is incredible. So that's game number 4, I believe. And then Lonzo had his revenge today, hitting 7 threes as he was just on fire from three-point range. This is what I want to see, man. This is what I want to see from Lonzo Ball. If you have an open three, take it. And he did that today. And his defense, again, man, it's just been phenomenal, right? For all you coming at me saying that I have an agenda against Lonzo, I do not. I am just saying that this dude is great from three-point range, so utilize that first before you utilize any other parts of his game that needs work, right? So, but this right here is just a definition of what I want to see. 10 three-point attempts, only 13 field goal attempts from him. As you can see, most of them are from three-point range, so awesome to see here. But big person right now I want to talk about is Derrick Jones Jr., as this dude right here has come in and filled the center role as an undersized forward and just absolutely has filled the center role today, or for multiple games now, actually. He did against the Clippers as well. But with no Vucevic right now, which is clearly, it hurts this Bulls offense. It really hurts this Bulls offense, as even though Vucevic is struggling and people are calling to trade him, like, you see why Vucevic is so important to this offense, right? When DeRozan and LaVine get double teamed, Vucevic is the release valve, right? That's what Vucevic's role is. And not only is he the release valve, but he's also an initiator of the offense at the top of the key. When he gets that ball, he makes the decisions with the basketball, and he's just so good at doing that. And we miss that right now. But Derrick Jones Jr. has come in and filled in that role of being able to catch the ball at the top, the key, middle of the floor, but able to make the right decisions with the basketball, whether that is to pass, to an open guy, or to drive right to the rim and finish strong. And that's what he's been able to bring. We saw Tony Bradley try to do that earlier in the game, but he had 2 early turnovers, right? So this is a skill that is not every big man has, right? That's why Vucevic is so valuable. But Derrick Jones Jr. has come in and fill that role. So when DeRozan and Levine get double teamed, he gets big, he becomes available in the middle of the floor, and he finishes strong at the rim or passes it back out. He makes the right decisions, and this dude has come in and just done a phenomenal job with Vucevic's absence. So big props to Derrick Jones Jr. Other thing too is this, man. He had the task of guarding Anthony Davis tonight. Now, I know Tony Bradley started, but Derrick Jones Jr., I would argue, had the most time in Anthony Davis. As Davis got ejected in the third quarter. But the big thing that I was looking at tonight was, can we control the glass and control paint points, right? We cannot let this Lakers team out-rebound us tonight. We're going to be small no matter what. Even, let's say we were running Tony Bradley out there, we're just small. So we have to control the glass against this Lakers team. And the Bulls did that. They did just that. They controlled the glass. They did not get out-rebounded terribly. But the big thing was, we saw that Derrick Jones Jr. was able to box out Anthony Davis and at least not allow him to get the rebound. And it wasn't like Derrick Jones Jr. was getting the rebound, right? He only had 3 rebounds today. But one of the things that people would always talk about is face guarding on a rebound. And we saw that a couple times tonight where it's like, if I don't get the rebound, you do not get that rebound. So I'm just going to eliminate your ability to get that rebound. And Derrick Jones Jr. did such a good job of that. And luckily we have guys like Lonzo in that backcourt who are really big as a guard, can go get that rebound for us. And he did just that today. So that's a fantastic job by Derrick Jones Jr., just himself making sure that Anthony Davis did not dominate us on the boards today. So props to Derrick Jones Jr. This Bulls defense, man, was phenomenal to watch. We saw anytime Anthony Davis caught the ball in the post, immediate double team. And we just saw the rotations were on point tonight. And the big thing, the reason why the Bulls are able to do this is, one, obviously LeBron James is out. But number 2, this Lakers team, you want Russell Westbrook shooting threes, right? You want other guys like Avery Bradley, Rajon Rondo to shoot those threes. Now, they have some decent three-point shooters, like Wayne Ellington, for example. He's a good three-point shooter. But you much rather have those guys try to beat you than let Anthony Davis go off for 50, right? So they really contained Anthony Davis today. He had 9 shots. He had 20 points thanks to the free throw line, but that dude did not get that many shots. And most of those shots were really in that third quarter when he was just taking a bunch of mid-range shots. So it was just not very effective shots by Anthony Davis today, and the Bulls really put a stop to him and really contained him today. And that was awesome to see, just to see that even though the Bulls were undersized, they were able to contain one of the best big men in the league tonight. So good stuff from the Bulls there. I wish I could show parts of that, but I am not able to, unfortunately, as the highlights are only offensive highlights as usual. But other thing too is this. I want to point out this last thing before we get into film here. But the Bulls, what they were doing a lot of was when Anthony Davis was trying to get that ball on the block, you would see Lonzo kind of play free safety, and he would pre-rotate over to the strong side. And so he wasn't exactly in double teaming Anthony Davis, but he was in that help position where as they try to lob it down to Anthony Davis in that low block, Lonzo would be there for the steal. So the Bulls, in a sense, were basically pre-rotating when the Lakers tried to post up Anthony Davis, and that denied the entry pass into the post, and that again was just eliminating Davis's ability to catch the ball and even do anything with the ball. So the Bulls just did a fantastic job today as they made the Lakers try to beat them from the 3-point line. They did not, very clearly, and they stopped Anthony Davis from doing what he does best. So just Billy Donovan. After that Warriors game, a lot of people are like, "Oh, here's the real Bulls team. They're terrible defensively, but blah blah blah." That's one game. The Warriors are a legit team. I think people have underestimated Steph Curry and Draymond Green. I think KD has put a little, has made people think that Curry and Draymond Green aren't that good. They're fantastic players, and there's a reason why the Warriors are the top team in the league right now. So that's just one game, but you saw that this team responded defensively specifically. They responded in both LA games, but definitely in this game, this was an impressive defensive performance by the Bulls. against the Lakers. But I want to get into film here, talk about a couple of things. As we saw in that Warriors game, that the pick and roll was actually very, very bad for the Bulls in that game, because we were handing it off to Tony Bradley or Alize Johnson after they double teamed LaVine and DeRozan, and they just did not know what to do with the ball. And then we would try to put Lonzo in that situation, but that limits our spacing, right? So there are other ways to counter this. Now we haven't seen a lot of it, but there are ways to counter this, whole pick and roll, because the Billy Donovan's offense is based around Vucevic, honestly. Like, you see that Vucevic is always at the top of the key and setting screens in that pick and roll action, because he knows that the defense, if they double team the ball handler, which is either LaVine or DeRozan, then Vucevic is wide open, right? If they don't double team, then usually the ball handler gets right to the rim, right? If they both go towards Vucevic, then you know what happens. But you don't have Vucevic right now, so there's other ways to counter this double team or blitz pick and roll defense that's being thrown at DeRozan and LaVine. One of these ways is the post up. Now, you know that DeMar DeRozan is either going to just be either on an island in the post up situation, or he's going to be double teamed, as we've been seeing in the pick and roll action, right? And when I always say this, the post up is a form of ball penetration, and when the Bulls are getting blitzed on that pick and roll action, where LaVine and DeRozan are getting double teamed when they have that ball at the top of the key, they lack ball penetration. Then it's hard for them to get the ball into the teeth of the defense and make the defense have to turn their head or have to shift, right? That's hard for them to do when they're being blitzed. But if you post up DeRozan, for example, right here, then if the defense comes to double teams, they're even more stretched out than if, let's say, they try to blitz at the top of the key. It's really stretched out. And it's hard for the defense to guard that, because, again, it's a form of ball penetration. You don't have to work so hard for this form of ball penetration. So right here, you see DeRozan on a block. I believe this is Avery Bradley. It could be Taylor Horton-Tucker. But DeRozan's too good on the block. He's just too good. So right here, you got Anthony Davis. This is also kind of a mismatch right here. But you have Anthony Davis guarding Zach LaVine. Now, LaVine has to stay in this position right here. He can also move a little bit up to the top of the key, but he needs to be the main guy, because then if, let's say, the Lakers come over and double team DeRozan, then LaVine's right there for the easy quick pass, and he can shoot the three, which is basically what happens. You see Anthony Davis starts to cheat over. This is not even an actual double team, but he starts to cheat. That's too much space for Zach LaVine, and we know what happens after this, right? This is how you counter that double team, right? You put the ball into the post, let DeRozan go to work, the double team comes, make sure Zach is that early release valve option, and if his man comes over to help, pass out to Zach, boom, there's your shot. Now, other thing is this. Instead of having one of the role players like Tony Bradley being the guy to set the screen and then roll, and then he's the release valve option, put both these guys in the pick and roll. Like, you're seeing that when DeRozan or LaVine comes off that pick and roll with the ball, they double team them, right? It's an immediate double team. And this really only happens when only one's on the court together, right? But another way to counter this is that instead of having, one of the role guys out here, which is like these guys, be the screener, put the two stars into the pick and roll. Now the defense can't double team, because if you double team one, then the other all stars open, right? And right here, this is just a simple slip screen that catches the defense completely off guard, because there's no communication right here. And as you see, you saw that Horton-Tucker went towards DeRozan, but then no communication at all. Anthony Davis is still on DeRozan. You double team DeMar DeRozan. Zach LaVine's now open. And here's the three-point shot for Zach, who shot it very well today. And I'm happy he's shooting more threes, because the team needs more threes. So that's great to see. But, DeRozan can handle the ball, but so can Zach LaVine, right? And this is just simple pick and roll between the two all-stars. What happens here? You double team Zach LaVine, the other all-stars open. And now this is unfortunately called a 2, but DeMar DeRozan from three-point range, man, has just been really good so far. He's not going to be the best shooter in the league, but he's been taking it with confidence. He's been making it, and it's been awesome to see. So I'm happy to see DeMar DeRozan taking those shots with confidence. And again, this is just a play that can counter that double team that's being thrown at both these guys. So awesome, this awesome stuff from there in that aspect, because Donovan, I was calling out him after the Warriors game. I'm like, he needs to make adjustments. Like, we can't run the same offense that we usually run when Vucevic is not there. It's just not possible. And he's, I'm not going to say offensively he's done a perfect job, he's done a very good job, but there are some things that I am like a little, critical of him about. But I think defensively, he has done a fantastic job with this team. Defensively, I have been incredibly impressed with what Donovan has done. Right here, since Alex Caruso's been in the starting lineup, this is the starting lineup out here. This is how you run a fast break, and this is stuff that we want to see from the Chicago Bulls, especially when you don't have your third guy in Nikola Vucevic, and the half-court offense is kind of struggling at moments without him. Get out and run in transition. Now, Tony Bradley, we've been kind of critical in this game, and he did deserve some criticism for those early turnovers and not being ready to play today. But right here, this is exactly what the big man should be doing on a fast break. Alex Caruso, he's a ball handler. He can handle that ball. He's bringing it up, gets in the middle of the floor here, but the main thing you see is Tony Bradley runs right past him. And instead of this being a 3-on-3 fast break, it becomes a 3-on-4 fast break. And Tony Bradley goes right to the middle of the lane, which sucks in Carmelo Anthony. Melo has to then guard Tony Bradley, or else it's a wide open dunk. Because he went and guarded Tony Bradley, Lonzo Ball is wide open. What does Lonzo do best? Shoot threes. And here you go. This is Lonzo Ball at his best in his revenge game against the Lakers. But one last thing I want to show here is the job that Derrick Jones Jr. is doing. And this is not easy for him. And reminder here, the Bulls had basically one off day from that Warriors game to the Clippers game. And then after the Clippers game, they played the Lakers today. So it was just like bang, 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 here you go. It's not like you have any time to practice much of this. So this is honestly just a bunch of film, maybe some shoot around. It's not a lot of practice going into this, but Derrick Jones Jr., who's more of a small forward / power forward, is being thrust into a center position and asked to do a lot with the basketball, and he's done such a good job. So right here, this is an action that the Bulls usually run with Vucevic, but you can do this with Derrick Jones Jr. as well because he's very athletic. He's also just smarter with the basketball. So right here, simple handoff, pick and roll. And as you see right here, no DeRozan's DeRozan's not on the court right now, so it's just LaVine. So what do the Lakers do? They double team LaVine because he's the only guy that can really score on the court right now. And you see that both guys go towards LaVine. Derrick Jones Jr., he is already in a perfect spot. He gets big. He's in the middle of the floor. He's open, but then he starts moving towards the rim before the pass gets to him, and because of that movement towards the rim, he's able to get right into the heart of the defense, gets into the lane, draws the foul, and won. That's something that we haven't seen from Tony Bradley so far. But Derrick Jones Jr. has come off the bench and not only has guarded the center position, but has been able to fill that role of being that roll man and that release valve when the All-Stars get double teamed or blitzed off that pick and roll. This is very necessary for this Bulls team because if we don't have that, then we saw it in that Warriors game where the offense bogs down. It's just a bunch of double teaming and nothing is really happening. Derrick Jones Jr., I was kind of saying that he could fill this role, and Billy Donovan went to it, and bam, it's been phenomenal in both this game and the Clippers game as well. So that's all I have for you guys in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. The Bulls got 2 big wins in LA on Sunday and today. So hopefully we can continue this winning streak throughout this Western Conference road trip, and then we get Vucevic back when we get back home. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one.